Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday morning. It's January 12th. We're looking at the Saturday night games, and a lot of these on the board. Nothing. Yeah, great night for goaltenders. So, at least some more than others. Okay, let's get into it. Starting off with the star games, we're going to briefly highlight. Carolina takes back first place. Of course, Columbus won on Friday night. Carolina returned to favor, and we do have our weekend split. A 5-3 win by the Thunderbirds. It's Boris Babic getting the win. He saved 35 of 38 shots. Both teams had 38 shots. And Sammy Bernard, 33 saves on the night. So, yeah, as you look at the records up on top, you see the only difference is one more loss by Columbus. So, yeah, Carolina back up on the top by 1 point. Gus Ford getting back to health, a goal and 2 assists. Johnny Butita, he scores the game-winning goal at 15:33 of the second on the power play. He also added another goal on the night. Nate Keeley, a goal and an assist. So, yeah, a lot of offense spread throughout the Thunderbirds lineup. Meanwhile, for Columbus, Nolan Slaheta, he has a goal and assist. Twitten Blacksmith, a lot of people were questioning giving up Stephen Klink for Blacksmith, and Blacksmith had 3 goals on the weekend, so I think you're okay. Sammy Bernard, again, he takes the loss. Good crowd on hand, 5283 in the Columbus Civic Center. So, yeah, we have a change up top once again in the Continental Division. Meanwhile, the Monroe Moccasins, after dropping Friday night's game, they come back, win last night 4-0. It's a shutout win for Marcus Ekholm Rosen, his first shutout of his career, his pro career, 30 for 30 in the saves department. Another one of those Fed stat mess ups. Sam Best was relieved at some point in the game. I did not watch this game. I was not able to. I don't have enough devices. Ed Coffey came in to relieve Sam Best at some point, but on the final sheet, which the league has told me, once a game is posted and finalized, that it can't be altered. So Sam Best ends up with all the stats, 42 for 46 in the save department. But yes, Ed Coffey was in at least. I watched the last 9 minutes of the game. In that time, Ed Coffey was the goaltender the whole time. So at least Sam Best had 51 minutes or less. That's all I know. All right, crowd of 4839 on hand at the Monroe Civic Center. It is 2 assists from the owner, Parker Moskal, chipping in the offense a little bit. We had 2 goals by Blake Anderson, and Koivuniemi also had a goal and an assist. Meanwhile, for the Seawolves, they had chances. They just got outgoalied. Marcus Ekholm Rosen played a great game. Mississippi really didn't do anything wrong in this game or anything like that. They had 30 shots on goal, which, I'm sure they wanted more. But we did have a blow up towards the end of the third period after an altercation between Seth Bacon and Blake Keller. Then after that, Andrew Stacy went off the rails, and he's looking at some kind of a suspension, I'm sure. All right. So Mississippi now 5-21-3, Monroe 14-9-5. All right, to the bigger board. It's not a big board; it's a bigger board. All right, so the Black Bears get their sweep that they were looking for. against the Motor City Rockers, but it took some extra time to do it. It was an exciting game, 5-4 in favor of the Black Bears. The River Dragons. What the? Wow, where did that come from? Other board. Okay, so the Rockers, they end up getting on the board first, getting a puck past Nolan Egbert, and it is Matthias Tellstrom scoring on the power play. A lot of specialty goals, special teams goals in this game. It was all special teams until later in the game. So Tellstrom gets on the board. And then Eli Rivers in the second period, very early, it's just 108 in, 106, excuse me. So Eli Rivers gives the Rockers a 2-0 lead, despite in the first period, Binghamton outshot the Rockers 22-4. Again, the Rockers, they rely on Ricardo Gonzalez way too much. Now, he has had a great season, but you give up that many shots, chances are you're going to give up goals. And later on, yep, that would happen. So after a little over a minute after the Rivers goal, which was a shorthanded goal, by the way, Tyson Kirkby scores on the power play, same penalty. So that gets Binghamton on the board. And then at 15:28 on a separate power play, it is CJ Stubbs scoring. Stubbs would also have a little part to play later on. So, yeah, we get through 2, and it's tied up at 2. Shots through 2, 40-11. No, not good. You give up 40 shots and you're only getting 11. That's not gonna hold up really well. So it was really a miracle that the Rockers were tied at this point. Again, Gonzalez playing like a beast. He's been a beast all year. Third period, 51 seconds in, it's Jesse Anderson scoring for the Black Bears from the blue line. Motor City does tie it up. Tim Delaney, he's not on the board very often, but he does get on the score sheet here. Big clutch goal, 7:55. It's 3-3. 15:38. It's Chris Mott scoring on a 2-on-1. Nice little feed from Dale Dion. And Binghamton goes up again 4-3, but in the waning moments, Binghamton ends up with a man in the box, and the Rockers think, what a good opportunity for us to pull Gonzalez, get the extra attacker on the ice, and their gamble pays off. It is Tristan Wells scoring on the 6-on-4, 18:38. And that draws us into overtime. And right at the end of the period, there was a hooking call. So Binghamton had the first 2 minutes of overtime with a 4-on-3 power play, but they did not score. So through the overtime session, 5 minutes, shots were 7-3 in favor of Binghamton, but goose eggs on the board for that time frame. So we go to the shootout. Scott Romikers is the first person to have an opportunity, and he scores a nice little wrister just past Gonzalez. Nothing fancy, but he puts it home. So we get to the third round. Nobody else had scored, and CJ Stubbs, it was the filthiest backhand I've ever seen. A back move that it was like a fraction of a second. Incredible. So yeah, that iced it. That was the winner. Well, I mean, Ramiker's goal is technically the winner, but you know what I mean. Skills competition. Okay, so yeah, shots for the game 67-31. And Binghamton improves to 23-4-1. The Rockers are now 11-14-2. They do get the 1 point on the weekend, so it's not a total loss for the Rockers on the weekend. They did grab a point. which is 1 point more than the team above them in the standings had. So a good crowd too for Big Boy, 1187 on hand. Ricardo Gonzalez takes the loss, but he saves 62 shots, 62 out of 66. That isn't. So yeah, actually, that's one of these Fed things that I just realized. Binghamton's shot total was 66, not 67. For some reason, when a shootout winner happens, they put the extra shot on goal there. It doesn't count. So 66 to 31 is the actual shots. All right, going to Watertown and Hudson Valley. Wow, what a game by Dustin Jesseau. He just one of these games where he just took over, as he is one of the few people in the Fed that is really able to do that, to just solely take over a game. Jesseau did it. So a 6-4 win for the Venom to salvage a split on the weekend. Yeah, lots of scoring. First, it's Hudson Valley. Yeah, I can't get through a video or a segment without saying Hudson Valley. It's not going to go away. I'll try to make it go away, but it's probably not going to. So Olivier Baudin, he gets the opening goal for the Venom at 3:38, tied up by David Gaeta at 12:09 of the first. And then we're going back and forth for a little while. It's Carter Thornton on the power play to give the Wolves the lead at 17:12, but Jesseau gets his first of the night at 17:50, so an almost immediate response. Jesseau had assisted earlier on Baudin's goal as well, so he's 2 for 2 in the points department. Second period. Nope, not the second period, because Monroe scores in the power play at 19:01. And at that point, I saw that and I was like, oh, there's one of those final minute goals. Is that going to completely deflate the Venom? It did not. Second period, and it's Jesseau scoring on the power play at 4:49. Again, even things up. Gaeta, his second of the night at 14:35. Lester Brown answers a minute and a half later on the power play, wearing number 16 and number 91, as was Danila Belov. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it. Numbers on the sleeve upside down, or the number on the back upside down. Probably mean the number on the back, because you can individually stitch those numbers on there. So very strange. I don't know how you missed that. So very strange. I also thought it was very sadly telling that Lester Brown is wearing Norika's number. Norika, of course, home trying to get visa issues straightened out. That's not a good sign. I hope that Norika can come back, because the league is better with a player like him in it. I'm really hoping he can come back. Anyway, back to the game. Lester Brown scoring on that power play. Quinn Cheevers, he scores at 10:03 of the third. That broke the 4-4 tie. And then Jesseau with the exclamation point, an empty net goal at 19:33. He gets his hattie. He factors into every goal by the Venom. 3 goals, 3 assists. Lester Brown, a goal and 2 assists as well. Connor Craig, 3 assists on the night. So very nice performances by the Venom. They rediscovered their offense. For the Wolves, it's 2 goals and an assist for Gaeta. Trevor Lord added 2 assists, a goal and an assist for Jason Botterill, and Andrew Whalen also had a couple of assists. In goal, it was Makar Sokolov getting his first win of the year. Not just the first one with the Venom, but his first win of the year. He had been winless in his short stint in Port Huron, and then in his only other start with the Venom, he came up on the short end. So this was nice for him to kind of break out of that slump. Not a personal slump, of course. A goaltending loss is a very deceiving number. It goes on the individual, but a loss as a team matter. Um, but yeah, so Sokolov now has a win. Anton Borodkin stops 34 of 39 in 59-41 played. And so the Venom are now 7-12-2. Watertown falls to 16-9-1. And now, look out, they've got somebody in their rearview mirror getting much closer than it appears. All right. Two shutouts end our night, and it is the Appalachian Aliens, the rebranded version of the Bobcats, defeating the Hat Tricks 6-0. And Hat Tricks, I mean, they got a lot of shots. Um, they got a lot of good opportunities on Hunter Verostic, but they just never seemed to really be in it. If somebody on Facebook, I forgot to see who it was, just kind of took a picture, and it was immediately after a Bobcats goal, and you just saw everybody looking to the sky like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And that pretty well capsulated the Knights. First in 6:24, at first they gave the goal to Andrew Utero, but they changed that to Nick Stuckless. So Stuckless gets the game-winning goal at 6:24 of the opening period. Nobody knew, of course, at that time that would be the game-winning goal. But yeah, he gets a puck past Frankie McClendon, getting a rare start. Not the affair that he wanted to have. It is Alex Nowinski scoring off a deflection off of his wrist, literally. Scoring at 5:35 in the second period. It was only 1-0 at the end of one. And Danbury had a great shot advantage too, 20-12. But Verostic said, not in my house. So Nowinski scores that second goal, and that just got the ball rolling. All of a sudden, it just all went downhill really quick. Nick McHugh at 7:03. TJ Prexler, he gets his first pro goal, 15-27. He looked like he had, just a relief on his face, like, I finally got the monkey off. And then Austin Belfay, he scores the Skeeters hot dog goal. I like that. If the Bobcats score 5 or more goals, everyone gets a free hot dog from a place called Skeeters. So kind of cute. Good promotion. 17:20 is the time of goal for that. So it's 5-0 at the end of 2. Shots were 31 for Danbury and 25 for the Bobcats, but where it mattered the most was on the scoreboard. And then Carson Andrioli, he says, yeah, let me get in this too. He gets a goal at 9:40 of the third period. There you go. You have your 6-0 shutout. And as Brett Wiseman said a couple times, 6 is a really perfect number, or a really, really hard number. I think that's what the joke was. Anyway, McClendon, he stops 31 shots on the night. Verostic, however, 44 for 44. His third shutout of the year. Nowinski with the goal and assist. Devin Standers, he's been having a great month. He gets another couple of assists. Andrioli, goal and assist as well. So the hat tricks are now 11, 10, and 5. They've fallen back off the pace that has been set by the Prowlers, and now they're kind of looking over their shoulder at Motor City. Blue Ridge improves to 14-9-3, a crowd of 1503 on hand. So we go to the final game, and I don't want to just roll over this because Port Huron worked very hard for their wins. They really put forth a total effort, and unfortunately the opponent, it's the Dashers, so you're thinking, well, what else did you expect? I think Dashers fans, they weren't necessarily expecting wins this weekend. They were just expecting competitive games. And neither game really was. I mean, they lost 9-1 to the Prowlers on Friday. Then you have 7-0. So 16-1 on the weekend. not the start that they wanted to see with Stephen So in as coach. So Port Huron, yeah, they get a little bit from everyone. Austin Federley, who was a big scorer for the game, only had the one goal, but it came at 9:29 of the opening period. Joel Frizee, he scores on the power play at 15:57. So there you go there. And then Matt Graham, we haven't seen a goal from him in a few games, but he scores on the power play at 19:50. One of those disheartening last minute goals. And Eli Bowers, was not having a good night. Meanwhile, on the other end, Valtteri Nusiainen, not very busy, but he stayed focused and he saved what he had to save. Everything came his way. Second period, it's goals by Scantlebury at 8:26, and Jamie Bussell scores at 13:01. Bussell, well, him and Federley, big scorers for the night. So 5-0 at the end of two. Shots through two were 25-16 in favor of the Prowlers. Third period, all Prowlers. It was 23-7. The body language on the Dashers just looked like, let's just call it a night. Wave the white flag. Let's go. But Prowlers still wanted to work on their game. And so Ben Brockway gets into the scoring at 8:42, and Bussell adds his second of the night at 16:45 to complete the touchdown with the extra point. And it's a 7-0 whitewash by the Prowlers. The Dashers' losing streak is now 22. For the game, Austin Federley, a goal and 3 assists, while Bussell added 2 goals and 2 assists as well. Scantlebury with a goal and a helper. We had Reggie Millette with a couple of assists. Matt Graham had a goal and assist. So, yeah, everybody got in the party. Nusiainen stopping 23 of 23 for the third shutout of last night, even though chronologically Marcus Ekholm-Rosen got the last shutout. But Eli Bowers stops 41 of 48. What are you going to do? It's just a bad situation in Danville right now. Just a very bad situation. So 8:22 is the announced attendance, which was better than the night before. Good to see. Port Huron now is 14-12-3, only 6 points behind the Watertown Wolves. So things are tightening up in that middle of the pack. And Binghamton's just running away with the division, with the Empire Division. But there's 4 teams kind of clustered together now, pretty close to each other. So, the dynamics of the standings have changed quite a bit, which, speaking of standings, we'll do a video. I'm going to be doing it today. I'm going to be pre-recording it. No, actually, the standings, I'm just going to post on Facebook. Let's just do that, like I did last week, because I will be doing that before the results of the game tonight in Athens between the Thunderbirds and the Rock Lobsters, which I am predicting Rock Lobsters win, despite the fact that Carolina is in first place. Carolina proved me wrong. We'll see. Anyway, tomorrow we are going to have stars and a recap of the last game. It'll get over a little later than I'm able to make a video for tonight. So, we'll just call it video posting tomorrow. All right, so that is our weekend in a nutshell. Great night for some goalies. Thank you so much for watching. I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash, and we will catch up with you very soon, if not before then, tomorrow here on YouTube.